All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're a few days removed from the Las Vegas Raiders wrapping up their NFL draft. And if you guys have been watching these videos the last couple of days, you know my thoughts. I think Las Vegas had a phenomenal offseason. I think they had a really good roster last year. They were one of the best defenses in the NFL. They had a top 10 offensive line. There's a lot of things going right for the Raiders. And with pick 13, they select Brock Bowers, and every freaking person loses their damn mind outside of Raiders fans. Like, folks, we talked about this yesterday, but you just got an all-pro. You just got probably a superstar, at least a star, and everyone's saying, oh, but, it's college football, blah, blah, blah. This is an SEC dog. This is a Georgia freaking Bulldog, and it's just, I have zero concerns about Brock Bowers' game translating to the NFL. You either got it or you don't, and Brock Bowers freaking has it. So, one big concern, with Raiders fans this offseason before the draft was the quarterback situation. Now we've got that figured out. It's either going to be Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew, right? I'm much bigger on AOC than a lot of people were, but I was saying in the draft, if you have the option, if you have the ability to actually trade up and select Jaden Daniels, I think you got to hop on it. But everyone was freaking out about Luke Getsy a couple of months ago when he was hired as the offense coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders, and it's because of his tenure with the Chicago Bears. So Davante Adams earlier today kind of cleared the air on all of it, and he has been. Davante Adams has always praised Luke Getsy, but folks, just think about this offense next season. If just imagine a world where like Brock Bowers actually works out, because he's going to work out, by the way. You have Brock Bowers and Davante Adams. This offense is going to be so freaking nice this upcoming season. But guys, before we get any further into tonight's video, if you enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily Raiders content. If we could try and get this video to 250 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. As a Chicagoland native, I'm not a Chicago Bears fan, but I've gone to a bunch of Bears games. I've watched a bunch of Bears games. I grew up with the Chicago Bears being on cable. Luke Getsy in no way, shape, or form was the problem with the Chicago Bears. Guys, it starts with their freaking organization. It starts with their ownership group. The McCaskey family is like, we got to keep it PC here. You get what I'm saying? It's a disaster. Like, the Chicago Bears ownership is actually a disaster. They never get the right head coaches. They haven't been able to figure out the quarterback position in like over a decade. It's just been so bad. And it starts and ends with the freaking ownership group. Luke Getsy was a product of Matt LaFleur, a couple of years ago, playing with, or, being the coach for the Green Bay Packers. Not the coach, but you get it. Matt LaFleur, head coach for the Green Bay Packers. Luke Getsy was the offensive dude there. And so Davante Adams, when Luke Getsy got officially hired, was just freaking huge on it. Like, he was absolutely huge on it. And I forget where I saw this comment from, but basically, he was just showing that all these Davante Adams was basically just reiterating that all these Twitter GMs have no idea what they're talking about. And he knows the language verbatim with Luke Getsy's offense, and he can teach it, and he believes in leading the way and leading by example, just like Max Crosby. Everybody on the Raiders wants to show and prove that the best is yet to come. He literally said, we put our faith in each other and everyone on this team, the best organization in sports. When you have a team that actually likes each other and they actually like the coaches like Antonio Pierce, and you trust in your GM and you trust in your coordinators and your positional groups, coaches, it makes all the difference in the world. Like, if you are not running with each other, if you're not messing and vibing with each other, I don't care if it's the NFL, if it's college football, if it's high school football, if you're not vibing with each other, you're not going anywhere, folks. And so to just have the top 3 undisputed wide receiver in the National Football League speak so highly of Luke Getsy, it should ease every Raiders fan who's worried about Luke Getsy's play calling. It should just blow it away. It should just end it. And when we go back to Davante Adams in the Luke Getsy Packers era, this dude was throwing up 18 touchdowns in a season. He was putting up 98, 97 receiving yards per game. And I was at the Chicago Bears Green Bay Packers opener this year. And, it was a big year for the Chicago Bears because they, were the number 1 pick. They traded away. They finally get a wide receiver. Every Bears fan's thinking, oh, we finally got our wide receiver. The Bears are going to be good again. And obviously they started, I think, 0-4. It was a terrible Chicago Bears season. They bounced back at the end of it. But what Luke Getsy did to Justin Fields is he had him have his best season of his career. touchdowns, interceptions, yards. Justin Fields just had a career season. And once again, the Bears organization is that dysfunctional. Ryan Poles is getting it back on track, but Luke Getsy was not to blame. There was nothing outside of DJ Moore, Cole Kmet a little bit, and like Justin Fields. It was a bad offensive line. It was just a really poor offense. And Luke Getsy, in my opinion, could only do so much. So when I watched with my own eyes at the Chicago Bears home opener against the Green Bay Packers, even from wherever I was sitting, it was so clear, especially looking back on the film from that game. Luke Getsy literally had Justin Fields playing like Aaron Rodgers, and they wanted him to be more of a pocket passer. And we know that's just like not what you're supposed to do, but did what he had to do, right? Everybody tried their hardest, whatever. My point is, Justin Fields had a career season, and he just wasn't a fit for Luke Getsy. And I'm putting that on the organization of the Chicago Bears for hiring Luke Getsy with Justin Fields as their quarterback in general. It was clear as day that they were trying to make him beat Aaron Rodgers. Justin Fields is more of a playmaker, right? He likes to scramble. He likes to, find guys wide open. Aaron Rodgers is more of a, let's get the ball out of my hands immediately, as soon as possible. And Aiden O'Connell is very similar in that regard as far as like technique and mechanics. Like he's closer to Aaron Rodgers than he is Justin Fields mechanically, right? Aiden O'Connell is not a fast dude. He's not a scrambler. He's not going to rush 30 yards for a freaking touchdown. That's Justin Fields. So I think Luke Getsy with Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew, hopefully, I love Gardner Minshew. I really do, but I just am hoping that Aiden O'Connell is the quarterback of the future for the Las Vegas Raiders. Guys, we go through this stat like all the time on this channel. Aiden O'Connell in his last month of his rookie season, and we have to keep in mind the first half he didn't play. And Josh McDaniels and his scheme, and it was just a complete and utter disaster. You could read it like a book. It was a nightmare. And he's a fourth-round rookie QB just thrown out there with a fired head coach, a fired everybody. And he did what he had to do. In his last month of the season, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Like, it wasn't anything crazy, but it was something to build off of. And I tell you this, because Gardner Minshew can play. He led the Indianapolis Colts, who have a really good offensive roster. I will throw that in there. Still young, very young Colts offense last season. He led them to a 9-8 record after Anthony Richardson got injured in his 4th ever NFL game. So if Aiden O'Connell beats out Gardner Minshew, he's the real deal. He's the real deal, or he's at least the real deal for this upcoming season. So I love the pairing of Aiden O'Connell, Davante Adams, Luke Getsy, Brock Bowers now. I'm really excited about the Raiders offense this upcoming season because I don't have any concerns with the defense, especially because they made the addition of Christian Wilkins in free agency. They were like at worst a top 10 unit in the second half of the season when Antonio Pierce came in as the interim head coach. So that's all I got for today. Let me know your thoughts on Luke Getsy running this offense. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. We will see you soon.